format. To go there, if I'm going too fast, just tell me something. Then render settings. I can remember the word of claqueta. That thing that we used to make the scene number, the sound, whatever, with a wheel right here on the top right. Okay. Render settings, and there in image size we have to change the preset from HD 540 to HD 1080. So again, it's right here on the top right, display render settings, and then we have to look for image size and change the preset to HD 1080. Okay. Let's go to our rig. Remember, if we import or if we drag something, we are putting the weight of the thing inside our Maya scene. That's a thing that we are not going to do. Prohibited. So the only way that we must import anything is with references. So we need to go to File, Reference Editor, File, Reference Editor, and here we can go to File, Create Reference, or click on this blue diamond and the cross, red cross, and search for our rig. Reference, and there it is. File, Reference Editor, blue diamond, red cross, create a reference, and we search for our rig. So as I said last class, every time that we close our Maya, the scene will wait just the information. So if we animate this ball, the Maya will keep the information of the animation, so zeros and ones, and the thing, the asset, will remain on the folder, so it will be very light. If you take this folder to your home and you open the scene, maybe the scene can have trouble finding the ball because the URL is different maybe between this computer and the one in your home. So every time that you open the scene, you will have a message telling you, hey, I cannot find the ball, where is the ball? And you just have to click search. It's very easy to find. It's just a message from Maya. You have to say it's right here, and that's it. Okay. Anyway, if you open your Maya scene at your house and pop-up appears and you for any reason close it and you don't want to open the scene again or whatever, you can go to File, Reference Editor. You will have the reference anyway, but deactivate it probably because the scene cannot find it. So you can just replace the reference, say to Maya is right here, and that's it. or send me an email. Okay, remember that our reference has values. We don't want those values, so put them at 0, and there it is in our center of the world. Now, you have it on the material folder, Assets, Ultimate Ball Rig. Well, we did this last class, right? Isn't it? Yeah? Yeah. So you have these values at 0, but the ball is not in the center? Yeah, it can be that you are not clicking the right control. You have to take the yellow one. Okay, Pau, can you find it? Pau Pedro? It's in Assets, Material, Ultimate Ball Rig. Yeah? Okay. Great. Tomorrow it's Wednesday. I'll try to make a video for this. Okay, what else? Do you remember anything that we did last class? That's it. Camera view. How you put it at the middle, the camera. Yeah, and rig, that's it. Yeah. Pau, remember, you have to go to File, Reference, Editor, and then File, Create Reference, or right here you have the icon Create Reference, blue diamond, red cross, and take it. Keep in mind that your rig should be in your folder, Assets folder, inside your main folder. Okay, so to create the camera, create cameras, camera. Create cameras, camera, and if you have your outliner open, you will see it appearing there. If you don't, you can just click here on your left to open the outliner, or go to Windows, Outliner. Then, let's see, they have any question. I can center the ball to 0, 0, 0. Okay, Adrian, make sure that you are getting, if you have to take the yellow control, the main one, the big one. So if the introduction to the new software between the virtual thing and whatever makes this more difficult than it should, I'm going to take that on account for all the exercise, okay? So don't worry. I'll try to make less exercise if it's necessary. Okay, if you cannot find the values, you have to click on your channel box / layer editor. Channel box, right there. Click on that, select the yellow control, and then you should be able to put that on 0. Okay, perfect. Then to get our two views. Panel layout just above the outliner on your left. If we click there, two views will appear. Then for each view we have our options on the top. Normally we are going just to use show and panels, these two. So to get our camera here, panels, perspective, camera. And we can put our camera more or less around here with the floor at the bottom. And again, panels, perspective, camera. Panel layout, and then panels, perspective, camera. In a moment I will go around everything again, okay? Then I have to click resolution gate, that it's a little square with a ball inside to get our framing. Right here, resolution gate is an icon, a little square with a circle inside, above renderer and show. Can you find it? Okay. How did you duplicate the display? Yeah. On your left you have the layout panel. And then panels, perspective, camera. Once I'm here, I take my camera, click on my translation, drag it to scale Z, right click, lock selected. Again, I take my camera, click on X translation on my channel box, drag it until scale Z, or well, yeah, let's do it until scale Z, and right click, lock selected. With this, now you cannot move the camera, so you will not mess up the view if you try to move it by mistake. That will happen. Okay, camera, select everything here, dragging, right click, lock selected. And if I'm not mistaken, the last thing is just go into our camera view, show, and deactivate the NURBS curves in order to just see the mesh and not the controls. Again, show, the second option, deactivate it. Or go to none and then activate just polygons. And we can just usar la bola sur desplazada igualmente. Yeah, that's maybe because you are not taking the yellow control. You have to select just the yellow control. Try it that way. Let's see if it works. Oh yeah, one last thing. Okay, cool, great. So this is pretty maybe a little difficult to find. So right here we have like a little arrow or whatever it is that it says show hide the selection mask icons. If we click there, these will appear, these options. If we click around here, show hide the selected mask icons. Yeah. So if you find it, and these are the options for selection. So normally we are going to use just the second, the third, and the fourth. The second means joins. The joins are the things that we are going to create for rigging. The third one is curves, so the controls. And the fourth one are polygons, so the mesh of the object. So if we deselect polygons, that means that now we cannot select polygons. Okay? And we are just going to keyframe the control, so that will be very useful. Yeah. The show, yeah. So the show, it's just to activate the visibility of everything that you have on your view. So I just want to see the polygons on my camera view. So I'm going to go to show and deactivate the second, or go to none and then activate polygons. I prefer go into none and then polygons, and if I need my control, just activate the second and I have my control. But okay, so now I have my perspective to work with. I will see everything that I do in my camera view, that it's locked, and it's more or less prepared to animation. Virtual guys, should I go more or less quickly through all of it again? So I get that all of this is pretty complicated, so it's normal to skip one of the things. So just ask me for it, okay? The what? The polygons, yeah, because it's easier to get our controls if we can't take our mesh by accident. So if I have it activated and I do this, we have to avoid to keyframe anything on your mesh, right? It's like zoom boom, the controls are the pegs, right? And the polygons are the drawings, and we need to keep the drawings as they are. Okay. What time is it? We have an hour. So let's do a simple bouncing ball, okay, with our animation tools. Right here we have a fatal error, first class with a bouncing ball, amazing. I had a backup scene there. Open the scene. I didn't. Do I have an autosave? No. I can do it in a minute. Don't worry. So normally my preferences will be as it should be. Oh no, really? Okay, wait. So again, for one, all. Files project, enable, let's Okay, I'm not setting the project, so I can find it. Okay, files and project. There. Now, if we save the configuration, will it stay for the next time we use Maya? Yes, it should. Save file, reference editor, assets. You can, if you have your set project correctly, you will have your folder right here in your left. Default, my render settings, image size on HD 1080, both panels, create, cameras, camera, panels, perspective camera. And more or less, that should be at 0. Deactivate the polygons and lock our. Okay. So let's do a simple bouncy ball. This will be our first exercise to deliver. I'm going to put it by the end of tomorrow's class, but you will see that it's pretty easy to do. Okay? Well, let's do it right now because some of you can have a heart attack. So tomorrow is the 7th. The end of the class is 12:30. Great. So you can move around your timeline dragging the left click on it. Okay, pretty easy. For now, we are going to use just, and this is very important, just the yellow control. Okay? Just the yellow control. And the first pose will be at the top because we are going to drop it. If we want our translation tools, we have it here on your left, translation, rotation, scale, or W for translation, E for rotation, or R for scale. For now, we just need translation. W, we have to click on our yellow curve, our yellow control, the main one, the root, and then W to get our axis, our arrows. Then if we click on the yellow square on the middle, we can do whatever we want with the ball, but as you can see, I am adding values on everything. We have to avoid that, so try to keep your movement with your arrows, because if I move my yellow arrow or green, we are adding just the E translation. That's what we want. So I'm going to put my ball here on the top, and then having my yellow control selected still, I'm going to press the key S at the frame 1, and now I have a red line in my timeline that means keyframe. Again, I take my yellow control, using the arrows, I put my ball at the top, and on the first frame, I press the key S with the control selected. So now I have a keyframe. The circles are not following the ball. when I'm moving the ball. Well, I don't know what do you mean by that. Circles? Which circles?
Yeah, if you select all the ball, everything, and you move it, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, but I am saying that you need to click just the yellow control. Try it. Just the yellow, the main one. No, don't worry, it's okay. Just the yellow. Yeah, I know that there are too many things, so keep in mind. So yeah, the yellow. I'm just scared that maybe you have something that it's not working, and it's pretty difficult to fix it if you are there, you know. Okay, so we take the yellow control, put our ball on the top, and press keyframe S. Okay. So now if we move our ball around and press S, and then play it or move it, Maya will create the interpolation, the frames in between. How do we remove keys? Great, that's the thing that I need to do right now. So if we go to the 10th frame, right click, delete. Okay, right click, delete. I guess so. I'll never use it. In 10 years of animation, never used a shortcut on deleting frames. Well, but F, it's a very useful shortcut. If you click on your yellow control, for example, and you can go whatever, and then press F, you will go again on your selected thing, and not only that, now your camera is pivoting around that thing. So that's very useful. Yeah, you have to click it, F, and you are there. You will use it all the time, probably. Okay. So now we need to know our three main steps for animation. Well, you remember, layout, blocking, and spline. This will be spline. Layout, do you remember what is a layout? So in this case, in 3D, let's say that our bouncing ball will be around, I don't know, 50 frames, okay? So let's put 50 here, 50 here, 50 here. Probably will be less than that, but let's put 50. Okay, I'm going to save as scenes 02 underscore layout. That's my layout. It's a scene where I have my settings done, my camera framed, locked, and my timing of the scene also done. So now it's kind of the animator has the perfect scene to start animation. The only thing that he has to do is animate. The camera should be already animated or framed like this. The number of frames more or less that I need should be there. The proper naming, the proper settings, and now I just need to animate, right? So this scene is the layout. Okay? Normally when I animate something, I receive layouts. But instead of having a ball and a framed camera, normally I have, you know, the backgrounds, all the characters there referenced, and the camera animated. Great. Now we are going to do the blocking. Do you remember we did some blocking in 2D? we need just the keyframes, on the proper timing, and that's it. Once we have the blocking, we can analyze it, see if it works. If it doesn't work, it's very easy to fix because you just have the keyframes, right? Imagine a full animated character in Maya. You will have the whole timeline red, you know, with a lot of controls. So if you are done animating and then you need to correct it, it's just a hell to try to fix it. So first, the blocking. Okay, to do the blocking, normally we deactivate the interpolation. So it pops to from one pose to the other without the animation in between, okay? That's a pretty complicated concept because we use a graph editor and that's complicated. So for today, we're going to use it without the blocking, without the deactivated interpolation. Let's do that tomorrow, or maybe introduce it at the end of the class. So let's do a blocking in spline. Spline will be the word that I'm going to use when I have the interpolation activated, okay? But it will be just a blocking, so just the keyframe. For a bouncing ball, for a vertical bouncing ball, what keyframes do we need? Bottom frame and top frame, that's it. Okay? The extremes, the main ones that I need to explain the action are the top and bottom poses. That's it. So, we have the first one, S. And I'm going to animate it with taking into account our values with a mathematical perspective, because I think that it's the easier way to do it. Not because all the animation will be done like this. But for the first one, I think that it will be pretty easy. So, if we put our e-translation at 10, instead of 10.9, whatever, 10, easier. If for whatever reason your ball is outside your frame because you put that 10 on the e-translation, you can take your camera, unlock it. So take it, select everything, unlock selected, reframe your camera, and lock it again. So imagine that the ball, I put here 10 and the ball is right here, because depending on the framing, could be. So I take my camera, unlock, I reframe the thing, and then lock it again. Okay, so for a bouncing ball, you must know that we need to decrease everything meanwhile we go through. So the highness should be decreasing, the time should be decreasing, so it should be faster by the end, right? And what else? I think that's it. Yeah, so let's make another keyframe on the 10th keyframe, on the 10th frame. And now with 10 and S. If we don't press S, we will lose whatever we do. If you want, we can activate the auto keyframe toggle at the right bottom, and then for every movement that you add on your ball, you will have an automatic keyframe, but just on the axis that you are moving, or the value that you are moving. So I recommend to have this activated, but anyway, press S every time we move something. Okay, 10th frame. Translation E 1. Frame 20. Translation E 8. S. Then I'm going to decrease the timeline also. So instead of 30, 28. 28. Translation E 1. S. 28 plus 8. 36. S. Translation E 6. I'm going to do it again, don't worry. 36 plus 6, 42. S. Position E 1. Plus 6, 48. S. Position E 4. I don't have. I need more frames. Okay, so I put here whatever 80. Okay, 6 and 6. So now 4. 48 plus 4, 52. S. Translation E 1. Plus 4, 56. 2. S. 2. 1. And that's it. I'm going to add another one, so 58, 60, 1.5. Okay, so I made on the timeline 10 frames, 10 frames, 8 frames, 8 frames, 6 frames, 6 frames, 4, 4, 2, 2, 1. And in the high maze, I made 10, 10, 1, 8, 1, 6, 1, 4, 1, 2, 1, 1.5, 1. That's what because I want. Did you get it? Yep. So I have my keyframes and the timing looks good. So that's my blocking. And now you don't have to do this, but if I put my keyframes without interpolation, just to show it to you, that's proper blocking. Okay, so let's go back. Now I'm going to explain that. File, save scene as, instead of layout, blocking. Okay. What values did you use for Y? Yeah, Rick, I use 10, 1, and then 8, 1, 6, 1, 4, 1, 2, 1, 1.5, and 1. So I decrease for 2 every bounce. Okay, so 10, 1, 8, 1, 6, 1, 4, 1, 2, 1, and I added 1.5, 1, but maybe I erased it, whatever. Okay. Do you remember that I normally compare animation with playing the guitar? Because if you start, normally you will have biological issues, your fingers are too short, your fingers hurt a lot, you have to break a wall before playing the guitar. So I am presenting to you the wall, and this wall is very thick. So before animating, you need to break this wall, and the wall is this. All the things that we made today and the thing that we are going to do now. But once we finish with it, that's it. So now we're going to study the graph editor, that is the more complicated thing. And these are all the tools that you need for animation. So it's kind of complicated but short at the same time. If we dominate our tools, we can just go for it and animate whatever we need to, okay? And the thickness of this wall of Maya and the animation tools in Maya are thicker than the Toonbook ones. But so it will be more difficult. But once you have them, it will be way easier to animate on Maya than in Toonbook. Okay, let's see it. If we go to Windows, Animation Editor, Graph Editor. Okay. Okay, yeah. Are you on it? I mean with the bouncing ball yet, right? Still, so okay. 5 minutes.
The keyframes when you create them, like the ones that I read, you add 8 or 6 to each of them.
I don't know.
From keyframe to keyframe, you are adding.
On timing or value?
No,
On timing, I was taking 2 out. So I made 10, 10, 8, 8, 6, 6, 4, 4, 2, 2, 1, and 1. And Rick, that's probably because you have the time slider, playback speed on play every frame. Check it out. Put it on 24/1. If your playback is too fast, maybe because of that. Also can be on your timeline speed here. Should be on 24 by default. It was that? Okay, great. So yeah, on the timeline I have 2 equals, and then I take out 2 points, so 2 frames. So 1, 10, 10, 20, and then 8, 28, plus 8, 36, plus 6, 42, plus 6, 48, plus 4, 20, 52, plus 4, 56, plus 2, 58, plus 2, 60, plus 1, 61. It's not necessary to have it just like me, but you should have it proportional. So I guess the easiest way to do it is just like me, and that's all. That's it. You can copy it if you want. So again, 1, 10, 20, 28, 36, 42, 48, 52, 56, 58, 60, 61. Yeah, don't worry. I just made the 61 because I want to.
película, i no fa interpolació, però la resta sí que fa prima frame.
Okay, go to Windows Animation Editor, Graph Editor.
Està xapat, sí.
Say, yeah, go do a zoom out. Okay, check everything. And click on an icon the first time to go right. That one. That one.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Vale.
We're going to go there. Yeah.
Have here one. I don't know why. I just looks weird.
Yeah, go to Windows Animation Graph Editor. Yeah. Yeah, because you do it wrong. You have so the first frame should be on the top, right? Okay, the second on the ground. Down.
But the problem is that it's not that.
Yeah, but you have to mix it again. Okay, 8, then 1, then 6, then 1, then 4, then 1. Oh yeah, okay, virtual guys, coming. On 60, okay, my 60. Let's do it easier. It's 56, 2, 58, 1, and that's it if you want. I made 1.5 because it's cool. How I remove the interpolation? Wait for it. Mine finishes at 58. It's okay. 58, it's okay. A little late. Okay, let's go to the graph editor. Well, first, if you want to move your keyframes, let's see if Oscar. Okay, maybe if you want to move your frames, you can move them with Shift and left click. Shift, left click, you can select it, or select and drag. So hear me out for a moment and watch me. If I do this, it's a little difficult to move. I normally drag the thing to have more space. Why? Because every time you select a keyframe, 4 arrows appear. 4. Can you see them? 2 in the middle, 2 in the extremes, right? If I move the one in the extremes, I am scaling. That's wrong. I have to move the ones in the middle to move the frame. So it's easier if I drag and I give myself a little space to see them than if I click it. If I click it, I can do it anyway, but you have to be careful. So Shift, left click, I drag a little if I want, and very important, with the arrows in the middle, I can move the frame. Okay, so let's go to the graph editor. Windows, Animation Editors, Graph Editor. So, the graph editor is a graphic representation of your 3D world. It's a little complicated to understand properly. I went a couple of years animating until I finally get it properly. But it's very useful. It's easy to work with it without getting it completely, but it's easier if you understand it. So, it's a graphic, right? You have numbers on your vertical value, and you have numbers horizontally, right? The ones in the vertical graphic here, from 0 to 16 and less, that's your value in your channel box, okay? So that's why if we start our bouncing ball in a 10 key value translation, we have it here on the 10, okay? Yeah? Then the horizontal, here on the top, these are the frames, your time. So horizontally you are seeing the time, vertically you are seeing the values. So now you can understand that you are seeing those mountains as travel on your values and time. Yeah? More or less. Okay. I can take, well, easier. I can go here, go to translate E, and just see the E translate in the E graphic, right? The only one that we are using right now. So maybe if I drag and select the first three and press F, the F is the zoom, right? If I go to translate E, by the way, maybe you cannot see anything. That's why you don't have anything selected. So go there, select your yellow control on your ball. That's the one with the values, and go again to the graph editor. So I take the first three, for example, go F, and I can see it better. So, and this is a tricky thing. I can move, I don't know if they can see me. More or less. Well. So I can manipulate and scale and move as I want my curves on the graph editor. So if I'm going from the value 10 to the 0 one, the faster way from one point to the other is a straight line, right? Should be a straight line, like this. But in a spline, automatically I have these curves. What does this into my animation? It creates an easy in and an easy out automatically, a little bit. Why? Because instead of going straight from one point to the other, it makes a curve. So it goes slower here, makes a straight line in the middle, so it goes faster, and before arriving it goes curved again, so it creates a deceleration here and here. That's why you have that kind of smoothy animation in your ball right now. Yeah. So, and the thing that I'm going to do, it's not necessary for now, don't do that if you don't want to. So if I go here and activate all my curves and I scale them, I am creating a super easy in. Well, it's like the curves in Tumble, but way better. So let's imagine that I want here an easy in way bigger, right? So I can do that, or yeah, because you don't have to do that. now, don't worry. You have to activate them, you have to go to cures, where it turns it, don't worry. If you want to create one, you can do this, or you can just go around here, make another keyframe, and move it on the top. Right? So it's very useful to know your way into the graph editor. Also, it's one of the best ways to see if you have something wrong. Okay, do you remember that on the contact pose it should be accelerated until the end? Right? You need that space around the contact pose. So we can put the contact poses on linear because graph editor works in a lot of ways, but we are going to use 3 ways. The blocking without interpolation, the spline like this, and linear. Linear is just straight. If we put this straight on linear, there is no deceleration or acceleration. It just goes straight to the other pose. These 3 ways to work with, you can put those curves with 3 little icons. They are spline, the one with the mountain, the A, the first one. Linear is the straight line, linear tangent. And blocking is a step tangent. It looks like a stair. So, auto tangent, so spline, linear, blocking. If we put it on blocking, there is no interpolation. If we put it on linear, there is a continuity, perfect continuity from one point to the other. And if we make it a spline, we have those automatic easy ins and easy outs. But we can change the graph editor as we want, but if we create a new keyframe, it will appear as we have it configured. It doesn't care about your graph editor. So the graph editor works for the things that you already did, not the things that you are going to do. Is that clear? Again, let's say if I put this on blocking, and now by the end I put another keyframe. Yeah. Can you see that the new curves are on a spline? Because my configuration now is in spline. So let's learn how to change the configuration. And I think that that's the last setting that we need to touch. So if I want my same thing, if I go here and I change my one existing keyframe, will appear in spline. So let's make a proper blocking. Okay, so I take my curve, put it on blocking, and then I'm going to change my configuration in order that if I change anything, it keeps in blocking. So I go to the preferences, my orange running man. I go to animation, and my tangents or curves are the same thing. My tangents, I must put them on clamped and stepped. Clamped and stepped. If I want them again back to a spline, I just, well, you can put them on spline, but it's just put it on auto, and it will be on spline again. Clamped and step. Yeah, the orange running man. Animation. Yeah, the tangents, you have to change them from auto to clamped, and step. And now file save, because we have our proper block. So you can see with this if my timing works for my animation. So now I can maybe change it. For example, my last bounces for me are a little quick, maybe. So I can add a frame at the end if I want to. Okay, so this is what we're going to do for every animation. If we need a running man or an action sequence, I will create first my keyframes with this technique in blocking of my character and see if it works first. And then if it works, I jump to a spline and I finish my animation there. Okay? Yeah? So, now I'm going to save it again, but instead of blocking, spline. Damn it, I am saving it in MB, in binary. I need it in ASCII, in MA, is better. Don't worry, the ASCII or binary, the only difference is that in ASCII, works better if you have a different format in your home. Maybe you have a Maya 2018 or 2020, whatever. Normally works better in MA. But it's in MB, it should work, and you can change the sameness whenever you need. Okay, so to go to spline, I just take my curves, put them again on the spline, go to my preferences, animation, and tangent, auto, and auto. And let's do the spline animation. Okay, so a very easy way to make the contact pose without close poses. Yeah. So if you want to use the blocking, should be the one on the top, clamped and stepped. Yeah.
And now we want
Auto.
line,
Auto. Auto. Auto, both on auto. Okay, now we have it on a spline. So as you can see, you have that smoothie thing, and you have a deacceleration before the contact, and that's prohibited, remember? So what can you do? Okay, you can start making, for example, let's say, making in-betweens, and that in-between, put it higher, you know, whatever, and the one before the contact, put it higher again. Or an easier way is just take the contact poses in your graph editor. Damn it. Okay. I have my contact poses and I make them linear. If I press play, looks way better. let's make it even better. I could use more little tricks on my graph editor, but let's leave those tools for tomorrow. Okay, maybe it's too much information today. So I take my contact poses, the one at the bottom, and the straight line, the linear one. Then maybe I can make an in-between every bounce. So from 1 to 10, the in-between should be 5. Okay, so let's make a keyframe higher, but not higher than the previous, right? A little higher. So I'm making a bigger curve here, so a bigger easy in, easy out, sorry. Okay, so now from 10 to 20, go to 15, keyframe, higher. 24, keyframes, higher. 32, keyframe, higher. 39, 45, 52, 50, I mean, 54. Okay, and then you can polish them inside your graph editor. Try to make this one, look at this, try to make this one and this one more or less equal, this one and this one, and make the mountains as beautiful as you can. If you press shift, meanwhile you are moving them, you are just moving them in one way, so vertically, for example, and try not to move them horizontally because you are going to mess up the timing. So this should be an easy way to create an easy out, a bigger easy out, and now look at my ball, looks way better. It has weight. Yeah? Virtual guys, everyone get it more or less? Oh, sorry, isn't it not a bit different from explain? Wait, you save it? No, it's not different. Should be not different. How do you feel it? Alright, yep. Okay. So, tomorrow, for tomorrow, and we will continue tomorrow, we need this bouncing ball and then a second one, but instead of vertical, lateral. So the draw that the ball must do should be similar at the graphic that we have here. You know what I mean? Should bounce in an horizontal way until it stops. I'm not going to teach you how to do it. You are going to do it by yourself to getting used to the tools, and tomorrow I will teach you how to do it in 5 minutes instead of the 2 hours you're going to try to do it. Yeah. It's not necessary to deliver it for now, because tomorrow I will give you more tools to do it better. Okay, don't worry about the delivery. Try to do the vertical with the tools that I give to you, like the one that you should have now. Maybe you can polish it a little. and then start trying to do another one, but horizontal. We do it in the same scene as this one? No. I recommend you to do all the things that we did today, but for another one. So, yeah, it should be like this. So the movement of the ball should be like this. You should go on. Naturally. So, let me show it to you very quickly. File, save, and now file, new scene, or well, let's create a new one. Just blocking. Instead of 02 should be 03. I'm going to erase everything to start over. I take my camera, I unlock. You can start over, or you can start from this scene, but don't contaminate one to another. Save a new one. So I unlock it, and I move it around here, right? And now I make, okay, so the 10, instead of being here, should be, okay, 1, but on X should be maybe 10, or maybe 10 is too much. Let's put 8 or 6. Right? Then instead of 10, 20, and Y should be 10 as the first one, and 12. Right? 28, 1, instead of plus 6, plus 4. So instead of 12, 18. 28 plus 8, 36. We have to add 6 more, right? Or 4, so 22. And this, if before was 10, now it's 8. Maybe I should... Yeah, you get the idea? Okay, as you can see, I'm moving maybe too much. By the end, I should have the camera around here. So instead of moving 6, maybe we can start with 4. So 4, 4. And then let's try 3. Well, plus 3. So 8 plus 3, it's 11. Plus 3 is 14. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I will leave, let's say, the first hour of next class to finish it. So I recommend you to, if you can find half an hour today or tomorrow at to start, and we can finish it the beginning of the next class. Okay, so you have 10 minutes if you want to try it and ask me anything you can find. Yeah, virtual guys, would it be easy to have the keyframes already and just change the values? No, start over. Okay, but the thing is, if you need to delete everything, you have to delete every curve. Don't delete just the translatee, because you will have keyframes on the translatee, rotation. Adrian, You don't need to send anything for now. You just need to continue messing around with these bouncing balls. We will continue tomorrow. How are you? Here, everyone has a sad face. Yeah, but I can see your eyebrows and your windows from your soul are depressed. Okay, guys, try to move around. Sorry. Start it. Once you're finished, or more or less finished, we do something called clean the graph. That means that you check all the curves, all the tangents. Maybe we should use the word tangent. All the tangents individually, making sure that they are something like beautiful. They should be clean, you know. Proportional. We have a couple of times here that they are already finished both bounces, so maybe with the first hour tomorrow you'll have it. It's enough for you. Okay, so tomorrow we will learn how to. If we take these curves, we will do it tomorrow, but if we take these curves, put them on weighted tangent, and we learn how to scale this, right? And then how to manipulate the tangents like this, like this. Once we learn how to do this, you will have, I think, every tool that you need. So we will spend a couple of weeks doing little exercises to get used to these tools, and then we will go to animation. Remember that your translate x tangent, this one, it doesn't need, well, it doesn't need, no, it must look like something like this, not like the E translation. Because you are moving forward from 0 to whatever value you need to from 0 to 100, let's say. So you need a constant tangent going up, not like mountains, right? And to give you a little trick, maybe you can have all of the keyframes on your X translation and erase everything less the first and the last, put it on linear, and you will have a continuum X translation. Once you have your ball on the ground by the end, maybe you want to translate it a little bit more and make that thing on auto, on spline, so get an easy in, so you will have a stopness. We'll do that tomorrow, but if you want to be creative, try it.
Yeah, you have one.
Yeah. Not in your timeline, right? Your timeline all looks equal, but you didn't see the color. That's another thing. But you have it right here on your graph. So if you take, let's say, this keyframe on your translation X and you move it right here, your E translation, it's equal as before. It doesn't change that. That's why I said that you need to press S every time, because if you have the auto keyframe activated and you move the ball just in E, you are just adding a keyframe in E. Okay, so virtual guys, do you have any questions before I close this thing? Okay, everything clear, I guess. So, thank you guys. Pau? Yeah? Okay. So, thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions, send me an email and we can see each other tomorrow. Okay? By the way, I guess that some of you on the virtual room, you will be here tomorrow. All of them. Okay, so we can. Yeah, but okay, so you change. Okay, let's hope that they fit here. Guess so. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Yeah, sure. Take it. This one is useful. It's all about it. Yeah, that's the word. So you did everything left. So in the real world, you will have some difference for each bound, right? But in this case, we can do it like this. It's easier.